You like to climb trees?
No, motherfucker, we got bells and shit. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey, you're so fly, you fuck my mom. Hey, Mickey. Fucked it up.
You did fuck it up. You should quit fucking it up.
All right, I guess the whole reason we're here is to talk about Game of Thrones Season 6. Sir, how do you feel?
I loved it.
You liked Season 6?
I loved it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, at first it was a little slow, but you could tell that, like, ooh, this season's going to be good.
Yeah.
And then it got really fucking good.
Yeah, no, it got really fucking great.
We even got to see a little bit of Sam and Gilly.
Yeah.
Who I'm falling in love with Gilly. And now that Marjorie's dead, spoiler alert. You've seen it, shut up.
Okay.
But now that Marjorie's dead, who was my girl on the show, I think Gilly's going to be my new girl, yo. I mean, I always like Danny, but, like, everybody loves Danny, so, like, you know what I mean? But yeah. Gilly's fucking adorable. Gilly, if you can't remember, is Sam's girlfriend. Jon Snow's best bud.
Yeah.
His girl.
Yeah. No, I know who you're talking about.
And he basically like adopted her son, who was also named Sam, after him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
Gilly's just a good girl, and she puts out. Obviously.
Don't get me started.
Don't even get
me started.
Now,
so I hated King Joffrey. I loved when he died.
Liked Joffrey.
I loved when he died.
I think that was the point, to not like Joffrey.
But, spoiler alert.
That motherfucker's dead.
Pause to turn down your volume. Spoiler alert. So, oh fuck, I just drew a blank on the new king's name. Tommen. When he jumped out of that
Joffrey's
fucking window,
yep.
It
Going for the
broke my fucking heart. I was like, what?
Broke your heart.
Why?
He did it. He loved Marjorie. That's why I think he did it.
I know, but it was so
I don't blame
sad.
him.
It was
I loved
so
Marjorie.
Sad. Yeah, but it was so sad, and I thought, because how old is he supposed to actually be? Like in the show,
I think he's like 14.
Yeah,
like
so
12 to 14.
So when he saw that temple just explode, he was probably like, just all kinds of emotions.
I wonder if he even realized his mom wasn't there.
I don't know.
He probably thought it because they never like met up or talked to each other after that. He might have just thought she was dead too and thought, fuck, even the person I fucking changed for, the High Sparrow.
Right.
And everyone I know, for all he knew, Jamie was in there.
Right.
He probably thought he lost everyone.
It was so sad because even from the back, you didn't see his face at all, but even from the back, you could see just how, like,
he was
emotionally
devastated,
screwed up that kid was at that split second, and he just took the crown off, walked out of the scene for a second, came back, stepped up on the ledge, and then just fell out.
No. And I knew,
I was like, my God.
As soon as they went back to him from the back, looking out the window and shit, and I saw him take off the crown and walk over here, I was like, he's gonna put that motherfucker down and jump. He's gonna do it.
I
knew immediately.
I did not see that coming.
I didn't see it coming until they showed him standing there in front of the window, just looking out still.
You're right.
And I was like, this motherfucker's gonna jump.
Yeah, it was so sad.
It was crazy though, but like it was, even though I knew, I was still just like blown back by it a little bit.
That completely caught me off guard. I was not expecting it.
It was cool though. I liked it. I mean, go ahead.
But what I was saying in a couple episodes ago, excuse me, by the way, when I kept saying, why doesn't she just bring her army in and just annihilate all of them? And then it happened in the season finale.
Because, like, you kept saying her army. It wasn't her army.
Well,
not only that, but Tommen was on the High Sparrow's side. Well, eventually. It was Tommen's army to begin with. The army was going to do what Tommen told him.
Right.
Not anything.
But you know what I mean. They were literally tearing apart that whole family. We'll say Tommen, for example. Why wouldn't he just send in his army then and just get rid of all of them, and then that whole problem is solved?
Because Tommen obviously was like head over heels. All he cared about was Marjorie.
Right.
He just wanted to be with Marjorie.
Well, what I'm saying is I just wanted to see them all destroyed, and then it finally happened in the last episode. Now, they took out some people I didn't want to see go, but they took out the High Sparrow and all them fucking little minions.
Yeah, well, Cersei did.
Right.
And her new hand of the king.
Right.
I don't know if you saw, but he had the fucking hand thing, which I loved when Danny gave fucking what's his nuts. She had like a
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, but Tyrion.
Yeah.
She gave Tyrion that little, like she had it made like
I
as
drink
closely as she
and
could.
I know things.
I loved that because
Yeah.
it was just like, here, man.
Yep.
I know you fucked up with the whole slavers thing, but like, you're my boy.
Right.
I liked that.
Me too.
Like he was actually made the hand of the king, and it wasn't just like thrust upon him and then taken away.
And then another cool scene, Jon Snow standing out in the very middle of the battlefield by himself, pulls out his sword ready to take on that whole fucking army
Ready to
by
die
himself.
again.
Take on the whole army by himself, and then next thing you know, all these horses race past him. And he's like, whoa.
And that shit was real. Did you see the behind the scenes stuff they put out?
No, but I want to.
Dude, like most of that whole battle scene was done practically. I mean, some obviously a good portion of it was CGI, but like a lot of the stuff you wouldn't think was CGI actually happened. Like when he pulls out the sword and that first dude he knocks off the horse, he just flies back. They actually did that. Like,
yeah,
that's why it turned out
cool
so
scene.
well, because they didn't just. It was pretty unrealistic. I mean, bodies wouldn't just pile up on themselves. That would never happen. Like, people aren't just fighting on top of each other. Like, that they had a whole damn field, you know what I mean?
No, actually, I've heard of that happening. I listened to another podcast. It's called...
If that happens, dude, that is terrible strategy.
Well, no, what it is, I can't remember what battle it was, but there was another battle like that I don't know if they based it on that or not, but I listened to another podcast while I'm at work. It's called Hardcore History with, I think, Dan Carlin. Check it out. If you like history, it's a cool podcast. The guy is an awesome storyteller.
Emily's huge history girl, so she might
Yeah, it's called Hardcore History. I think the guy's name is Dan Carlin. And
George Carlin's brother.
But he tells all these, like, he's a storyteller.
It's like
But he's
drunk
telling
history,
you-
but without the alcohol. He like makes it interesting and tells it like it is.
Right. It's really good podcast. Check it out. But anyway, I was just listening to another one, or another one of his podcasts the other day where he was talking about a battle. I can't remember which one it was, but where bodies were literally just dying and stacking.
He was comparing it to Game of Thrones?
higher and higher. No, this was an older one.
Okay.
But I related it to Game of Thrones when I was listening to it.
Like, I can understand in like a confined area,
Mm-hmm.
like where there's not a lot of space, where there's seemingly more people than room. Yeah. But that was a whole fucking battlefield. That was a whole field, dude. And there was like 2 mounds.
Right,
2
but-
to 3 mounds of just bodies.
Right, but the other army had Jon Snow and his all surrounded, so all
but
these
this
people
was
are dying.
before that, dude.
And it was all
At this point, when
surrounded.
they were just like a half moon. You know what I mean?
Right, but they were backed up against that other wall too.
Yeah, but that's like the beginning of it. The whole like there's shots where you see those bodies. They show you the 2 to 3
like
piles
when the
of
other
bodies.
army came charging
And
in.
no, this is like before the whole circled around them and closed them in shit. Like you could see that like here's the bodies and then here's just a bunch of open field with like a body, some bodies here,
Yeah,
some
okay.
bodies there.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like I'm just saying like, and they're like on top of like a 50-foot pile of bodies fighting when there's tons of room around it. That's what I'm talking about is unreal. Like that would not be. Why would you choose to fight and climb? Like make it even more difficult
Yeah.
to fight on top of a bunch of bodies where some people are probably still alive. Like you saw people holding their guts and shit. Like
Well,
screaming.
like Jon Snow was underneath a big pile and he managed to climb out, but
But they were just as you were seeing people fight, you would see a guy like holding his intestines, like screaming and looking at people, and like you see in like movies and
Right.
shit. Like that would be extremely hard to fight on top of.
yeah.
You'd be losing your footing constantly. People might be freaking out and grabbing you, and like your sensory perception's all fucked up because you're getting hit on or hit at, not hit on. and people are screaming, and like people are dying, falling into it. Like that is just you can't fight in those conditions. Not well.
Right.
It seemed horribly timed. And another thing, not horribly timed, but horribly strategized on Jon Snow's part. Another thing that really pissed me off, and I like Sansa a lot. This nowadays. In the beginning, I was actually talking to Dougie about this earlier. In the beginning, Sansa just pissed me off and irritated me. She was so bitchy and stuck up and snooty and shitty. And she even talked about it with Jon this season. Like, I was terrible. I was terrible. But I really like her now, but there's something that really bothered me about this season. And she knew about Littlefinger's army that whole time. Jon asked her multiple times. She even brought it up, like, in that episode, right before the battle. Like she's like, you don't do what Ramsay wants you to do. He's like, what do you want? She's basically fighting with Jon, and she's like, we need more men. He's like, where do we get more men? And then she just didn't say anything. And fucking Littlefinger had already come there, offered all his help. Not even Littlefinger's help. It's Robin, her cousin's help, her aunt's. That Littlefinger married and then pushed down the thing.
Now I'm following you.
They were Robin's troops because he's the one who's sitting on the throne of the Vale or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the Knights of the Vale or whatever coming through. That's why there was that bird on the fucking thing.
Right.
They were actually his troops, not Littlefinger's. If you think about it, Littlefinger's is just basically a stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
His widower stepfather. But Sansa knew about that. And Jon straight up asked her, where do I get more men? And she just avoided that completely.
Right.
And then Jon could have fucking died.
Yeah.
A couple times. Rickon died.
Yeah.
She let all that happen. And then swooped in the last minute with Littlefinger.
Bitch
Why?
wanted to be the hero. Because she has the vagina and she wants to feel like she has the power.
Well, maybe that was it. Because during that conversation where she'd never mentioned Littlefinger at all and was giving Jon shit for, like, look, you're not going to win this battle with this many men and by doing exactly what he wants you to do and not giving him exactly what she's telling him he needs when she knows that he needs it and knows that she can have these men to fight for him who made all the fucking difference in the end.
Right.
I mean, they were done. They were not going to win.
Right.
But they could have definitely won with all those other fucking men. But she let their entire fucking army die first.
Right.
Like, she's lucky that they won.
Maybe it was an afterthought. Maybe she didn't think.
Okay,
until after.
Maybe, but if that's crazy, then she's just fucking stupid.
And then she sent a raven.
That just pisses me off even more.
She sent a raven.
Maybe.
And then they showed up at the perfect time.
Why
to
do you
save
always
Jon Snow.
sound like Ringo Starr?
Because that's the only voice I know how to do when I'm trying to sound like Jon Snow.
And Ozzy Osbourne wanted a bowl full of brown M&Ms. But yeah, that really pissed me off about the season.
Yeah.
And that made me not like Sansa very much. But I still like Sansa, and I still think she only gets better. Like, I wasn't really attracted to her in the early. She was also a lot younger. But she's really grown to be quite an attractive
What about after
girl.
you got to see her naked?
You never got to see her naked.
Oh, maybe I was dreaming that.
Yeah, no, you've never seen her naked.
Oh.
Shit, I don't even think she was really of age until the last couple seasons. But you've never saw her naked on the show.
Oh, maybe that was a dream I had.
Chances are you never will either.
That's probably a dream I had then.
But considering that they're saying there's only like 13 episodes left.
Shut the fuck up.
And they're probably going to split it up into 2 partial seasons that'll come out over the span of a year. So you'll get the whole season in 1 year instead of like waiting a year in between. You know what I mean? Which we'll not get on because we already had that episode. But
are you trying to piss me off?
No, but yeah. And what else? We had the Return of the Hound this season.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yep.
You saw him for 2 episodes and then never saw him again. So you know he's out there making his way somewhere. I hope him and Arya cross paths at some point, even though he's on Arya's list.
What was his? Oh, God, I'm trying to think of what I heard. He says something about how you're really shitty or you're really. I don't remember. Something about he made a comment about dying to somebody, and he's like, "You're really shitty at this whole dying thing," or something. But that's one of my favorite lines that he says.
Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar. I'm sure I'll rewatch the whole season at some point.
I'm still trying to get Jen to watch it.
I don't know how anybody doesn't. It's so good. We also had the triumphant return.
That's like I keep seeing on my Facebook, people are posting these picture memes that say, I'm part of the 1% that hasn't seen an episode of Game of Thrones. And you know what my first thought is? You're also probably one of the stupidest friends I have on my Facebook. So that explains a lot.
Yeah. You're missing out. It's really good.
There's this one guy on my Facebook that I won't say his name. Dan, if you happen to be listening, you'll know who I'm talking about. But this guy,
Let us know in the comments, Dan.
Not only can he not speak properly, he can't spell for shit. And
which never makes you look good.
Right. But he always has all these posts. And then you know what drives me nuts? And this was, at the risk of sounding like a teenage girl, this was so like 2 years ago. But you know how when people would put something on Facebook and then they put JS for like just saying? He still fucking does that with everything, but he'll put like 2 or 3 in there.
JS.
So I was doing this, just saying. And then after that, I was doing this, just saying. And then I met up with blah, 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 like, just saying.
Why are you
LOL, ha, ha, ha.
Why are you just saying? Is that the joke?
No. It's not even a joke. He's very serious about his post, but he just comes across as a fucking moron.
What does this have to do about Game of Thrones?
I don't remember.
Something about memes? Did he post a meme?
Oh, no, it's because I'm friends with stupid people on Facebook.
Oh, that don't watch Game of Thrones.
Right.
So he's probably that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if he's ever seen it, but I would imagine. Anyway.
Another return. This season, triumphant return. Everybody wondered what happened to him. Not only that, but it was an introduction of a character I was hoping would come around, and it seemed like he wasn't going to. But Benjen Stark is Cold Hands.
Yes.
And he has definitely cold hands. He's playing that part quite well, and he even has the dark hands. He is Cold Hands.
He has cold hands.
Cold Hands is a character from the books that a lot of people were looking for.
You know what they say? Cold hands, warm heart.
He's basically an intelligent. Well, I think all White Walkers are probably intelligent. They're definitely not those zombie white creatures that, are their minions or whatever. But he's a friendly. He's still Benjen Stark. He's like half White Walker. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he
from
looks
the waist
awesome.
down. Oh.
The face really gives it away. His nose looks cool. It's kind of like partially decomposed and shit. He's got like a blue tint.
Ew.
Benjen's cool. I've always liked Benjen.
Ew.
But I'm happy about that. I actually saw a meme too. I think I sent it to you, where it showed the part where Benjen, or not Benjen, but Bran and that girl, I can never remember her name, the Reed, I think her last name is Reed. When he leaves them in the last episode of the season, and they're like, "You're not coming with us," and he's like, "I'm a returning character, and it's a season finale. I'm getting the fuck out of here," because everybody dies. Like a whole shit ton of returning characters just died.
Wait.
In the fiery flames of the wildfire. Like a lot of those characters are reoccurring characters, not main characters. You know what I mean? Returning characters. Like, in the sense of the acting business. How are you not following this?
No, I'm following you. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Because you just got a puzzled look on your face, and you're just like, what?
Well, I was trying to figure out what fire scene you were talking about.
The explosion of the church.
Right.
Temple.
No, and then I caught on to that, and then apparently, I guess I still had a confused look on my face, but I wasn't confused at that point.
It wasn't relevant to the episode. It was like reality. Like, I'm a returning character, and a bunch of returning characters just died. It's the season finale. I'm getting the fuck out of here before I die, too.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
I gotcha.
It's kind of ruined if you got to explain it that whole time.
Or it just wasn't funny. But
Oh. Let us know in the comments. Yeah. Return of Benjen Stark, which is pretty cool. I'm curious to see where that all goes. And
south.
Yeah. Which I think is where John's probably headed.
Yeah, it's gonna go south.
He's gonna start letting everybody know about White Walkers.
The White Walkers.
White Walkers, winter's coming.
I need
That's
firewood.
gross, John.
Winter's coming.
Tell Winter to get the fuck out of here.
Okay, I'll send a raven.
Wear a condom. A condom.
Oh shit.
What
That's
else happened?
funny.
Arya became a faceless person, I guess. Faceless girl, and
That was a cool scene.
left.
I loved.
Finally got crossed off another name on her list with Walter Frey.
For some reason, I loved the look on her face when she pulled that mask off.
Oh, she had like that half smirk.
Or yeah, and she just had the. It reminded me
She's
of,
like-
is it The Shining with
Jack Nicholson.
yeah, where he's
He's like,
That's what it
"Here's
reminded me.
Johnny.
that's what it reminded me
I
of
love
from
that
The
movie.
Shining, where she pulls it off and she's just like,
Kinda, yeah. Like,
and I was like, that was
and like
cool.
the whole, like she did her whole speech. She's like, my name is Arya Stark
Mm-hmm.
of Winterfell, and like, I'm a bad. Well, she didn't say this, but
She's like,
I'm a badass bitch.
They're
I'm about
already
to kill
here.
you 'cause you
They're already here.
And she killed him just like he had, just like his mother was killed. Her mother was killed.
They're
Sliced
already
through the
here.
throat.
She cut up his boys and
Oh, and
fed them to him.
I don't think he actually ate it, but like, I don't think he ate it yet.
It was pulled apart. I
He
assumed
pulled
ate
it
some.
apart and looked, but I thought she had just brought it to him and put him out on the plate, and he was just grossed out.
Well, either way,
I mean, he might have took a bite, or maybe he was eating it before, and she brought him another piece or something. But
yeah,
either way,
no.
it's gross.
Yeah, it was very gross. But the look on her face was just crazy, and I loved it.
Yeah, Maisie Williams. I like her. She's good at being Arya, and man, I can't wait to see where it all goes, dude.
Yeah.
She made a friend in that actress lady. I wonder if that'll ever come back around.
Yeah, they're gonna be lesbians.
She's like 16.
But it didn't matter back then.
I guess that's true. Sansa was married at like 12 or
See?
14.
You make my point.
Daenerys is supposed to be like, when she marries Khal Drogo, she's like 14 years old.
Oh, she's
In
so
the books.
hot.
Think about like I said, she was 14 years old, and you're like, oh, she's.
Well, no, I mean,
I
she-
know, but
you
it's
know what I mean.
funny out of context
Yeah,
and gross and weird. But
she is hot.
what else? Oh, Jon Snow came back. We've already talked about this in earlier videos, but yeah.
Spoiler
obviously,
alert!
That's a big,
Jon Snow's back.
big thing that happened in this season, and we're talking about the season. So
Right.
that's everybody saw it coming, and hoped and prayed that it would happen, and it made no fucking sense for it not to happen.
Right.
That was pretty big and cool. Very, very fucking like edge of your seat. Everybody was waiting.
Mm-hmm.
But that happens every time. They do that shit on purpose.
Motherfuckers.
Those motherfuckers.
And now we gotta wait a year. Don't get me started.
Don't even get him started. That the death of Ramsay we talked
Awesome.
about. Yeah, that was fun.
I thought Jon Snow was gonna kill him, and then he didn't, and he tied him to a chair and let his dogs eat him.
Actually, Sansa, well, she didn't tie him to the chair, but she's the one who had it all go down.
Yep.
But I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, I knew Sansa was gonna probably be the one in the end to send him out. But I thought it was gonna be a little more gruesome than that. Like, I know they showed the dog like clutching onto his face and starting and everything, and
I think
But
it's still
I-
pretty
I
gruesome.
thought-
They just didn't show you.
I thought she was gonna like torture him for a while, like she did, or like at least rape him with like a molten hot sword up the asshole or something. You know what I mean? Like I thought like,
Now
wow,
you're
they're
talking-
really gonna have
now,
to top
now you're
themselves.
talking Joffrey shit.
Because I mean,
That
if
was
you
a
really think
sadistic
about it,
little
I know he was
fuck.
eaten by his own starving hounds.
Right.
Spoiler alert. Post spoiler alert. And
If you haven't seen it by now, you're not gonna watch it anyway.
if I'm gonna put it in the title, if you didn't read the title, you're just stupid. What are you? You don't even know what you're watching.
Really?
I'm sorry. You're a viewer, and I love you. Thank you for watching.
We do love you. All 6 of you.
That's why we put spoilers, alerts, and things. Because we love you. But no, I felt like he should have gotten it worse. Like he got off light.
Well, yes and no. I can't imagine a death that would be too much worse than getting eaten by something else.
Well, no, that's a terrible, terrible death. But in the end,
Because you're not
that
gonna
lasts like maybe in an hour tops.
Yeah.
Think of how fucking long he tortured Theon Greyjoy, and like,
Yeah, that's true.
he fucking let his stepmother and his brother get eaten by those hounds.
Yeah.
Like, he deserved
And that big girl
all
and her
of
baby.
that times 100.
And that one big girl and her baby, remember?
That's what I'm talking about. His stepmother
Oh,
and his brother.
oh,
Like,
okay.
who else did he let dogs eat other
Right.
than himself and them? You know what I mean? That's who those people were his stepmother
Right.
and his brother. That's why he had him killed, because he was no longer the next in line.
Right.
They killed his father right before that, which is another thing that happened this season, the death of Bruce Bolton.
Man, that
Which
little son of a bitch.
Nobody's going to miss.
Right.
Fuck Bruce Bolton.
Yeah. And your brother Michael.
I was definitely gonna make a Michael Bolton joke, but you beat me to it. Reminds me of Office Space. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shit, so much happened. Oh, Jorah Mormont has the grayscale on his arm. Dany. He eventually tells her. After he finally comes back and she banishes him again, he's like, "It's good that you're banishing me. I can't be near you because I have this." And then she gets emotional. She's like, "Damn, all right, he won." You know what I mean? She's basically like, "I love him too, in my own wacky way, you know. Go find a cure and come back to me because I need you by my side." Do you think that's gonna pan out for him?
Nope.
Not at all.
Nope. I think he's going to die.
It's highly unlikely. Very, very highly unlikely.
But I think
that
it was-
dude is extremely motivated to be by her side.
Right. But I think also she knows he's going to die. And I think that's her way of saying, like, making it perfectly clear that I forgive you. Everything's fine. I love you. You saved my life.
This is your way of still leaving
Getting-
and us still being
Right.
almost like it's not ending.
Get yourself through this. And if you get yourself through this, come back to me.
Yeah.
But
No,
I think that was more her way of saying everything's fine.
like, no, we're on good terms.
Right.
If you can, basically, like, I don't think you will. But if you can find a cure, you're more than welcome to come back.
Right.
Because
But
I'm
how's
pretty
he
sure
gonna
you're
find
going to
it?
have a new lease on life.
Yeah. How's he going to find a cure for the grayscale?
Dude, how the fuck, dude, they
They didn't
out
even have penicillin.
black
Mark.
fucking sludge babies out of Melissa. How do they bring back the dead? You know what I mean? White Walkers. Magic.
Yeah, but he can't come back
How?
as a White Walker and serve
I'm not saying
her.
any of that. I'm saying all that shit exists. You don't think there could possibly be some crazy ass way that you can cure grayscale? I'm sure grayscale ain't new. The guys he got it from have been chilling in that ancient Valerian city for years, bro. I don't think I could sound any fucking nerdier right now, bro. I probably could.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
I
But
could.
I see your point. I see your point. But he ain't coming back.
It's like arguing anything being unrealistic in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro. Those blasters would not be blasting at that fucking firing rate. I mean, sheesh.
Sheesh?
Sheesh.
Sheesh?
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
All right, what?
That's the word you want to go with?
sheesh. I said it 6 times. Okay, it was like 4.
All right.
Maybe 5. But
Sheesh.
I do like Jorah Mormont though. He's my dude. I think he's a beast actor too.
Yeah, he was. I liked him.
And in that video, the guy that was doing all the different impressions, he said Khaleesi like 400 times.
Yeah.
like Khaleesi. Like
That
it's
was
just
funny.
dermatitis, Khaleesi.
You should put a link to that in the show notes
I will.
too.
I'll put it
because
it'll be
I think everybody needs to see that guy. He
down
was
here in the
hilarious.
description. There's a impressions video of a guy that does a bunch of Game of Thrones characters and then throws like Christopher Walken in there and Stewie
Conor McGregor.
too. Yeah.
He does a pretty funny Conor.
But yeah. I mean, I guess with that, I don't think there's really too much more to talk about, is there? What else happened this season? I'm trying to go back to the earlier episodes and trying to remember some big things that happened there, but pretty sure Jaime knows that Cersei's fucking evil.
Oh, yeah. The look on his face when he walked in as she was walking down towards the Iron Throne.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
He's like, where's Brienne Tarth when you fucking need her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's fucking...
And he's hitting that.
I know, I think that's going to come to an abrupt end pretty soon, though. Because she's lost it. She's lost all her fucking kids. She's named herself Queen. She killed anybody that could stand in her fucking way. I mean, she's basically a terrorist, if you think about it.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, she did a mass bombing, you know what I mean, to a religious temple.
Do you think Daenerys, with all those new ships, is going to go over there and...
Oh, yeah, she's on her way to King's Landing, I think.
Well, I mean, do you think that she'll...
Win?
Take her out of power, I guess?
Fuck. Yeah, her brother's the Kingslayer. I'd be surprised if... I honestly think Jaime may end up the Queenslayer.
You think Jaime will do it?
I think he may find that there's no choice. I think he may be like, look, I think I'm on the wrong side.
And then team up with Daenerys. Well, then he's going to lose... he'll lose their...
Dude, think about it. His brother's with Daenerys. In the end, how many times has he chosen? He basically...
Well, that's true. She'll probably
Tyrion over her when he let him go.
Right. And she'll probably just basically put them into power at their castle.
Oh, she's going to send... What's his name off here? This guy off here. Anybody she doesn't want, she's going to send him somewhere. She might keep Jaime around until it becomes known that he's not down with whatever she's doing, if that's the case. She's probably going to have a fucking wide, search, maybe even. She's going to want to get Tyrion.
See, there's so much more that they could do.
I'm sure she has a whole plan.
If this can't be the last season coming up.
I don't know, man.
Because there's so much more that they could do.
There hasn't been an official announcement or anything, but everything I'm told and from what I hear, everybody's saying that there's so many episodes left. You can take that out now.
I don't want to hear it.
I'm not going to hear it. Or I'm not going to say it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jaime thinks, or is catching on that Cersei is losing it.
Is pucking nuts.
I mean, she wasn't really sane to begin with, and she's only lost everyone but Jaime.
Right.
So, she doesn't like Tyrion, never liked Tyrion.
How can you not like Tyrion, though?
I don't know.
I
like Tyrion. Good dude.
Yep.
Dude, probably
maybe that's why she doesn't like him, because he is good.
Oh, that's definitely it. That and...
He drinks, he knows stuff, and he's
responsible for the death of their mother. That's how she feels. Well, because she gave birth to him and died.
Whatever.
Another thing people have been talking about is Varys. You know Varys? The bald eunuch guy that's with Tyrion?
Yep.
They're talking about how did he get, and this goes back to where Daenerys is headed. They're saying he was just in Dorne. How did he get to the ship
so quick?
How did he get on the ship with Daenerys so fast? And there's a weird, stupid fucking theory out there.
Time travel.
That he's a merman. He's a merman. Which they've mentioned. They call them something else in this world, in the Game of Thrones world, but there is a house whose sigil or symbol or whatever on their banners that is a merman, or whatever they call these things, and they worship this sort of thing. Not only that, but the Greyjoys worship the drowned god, the god of the sea or whatever. That's why they're called the salt.
A merman.
I have salt in my veins and all that shit. Yeah. Like a mermaid man.
Maybe they should end it after next season. If they're going
But-
to go in that direction,
That's a totally bogus. That's just a theory.
okay.
The real reason he made it there so far
Time travel.
is because she is on her way to King's Landing. This is what I think. And not only that, but there's proof to back it up. If you're in Marine, you have to, if you're traveling by boat, you're going all the way around to King's Landing, and you pass Dorne on the way to King's Landing. So not only that, but he was talking to the people in Dorne, those girls
Mm-hmm.
that murdered that guy and the prince, her brother and the prince of Dorne. He was talking to them about joining up with them and using their army as well. And I'm pretty sure their army was in there. So they basically just met up. There's the other fucking like half of her army. You know what I mean?
Right.
So really, basically what they did is they just picked his ass up on the way. But I'm really psyched to see where that's all. Because, oh man, I'm so ready for a fucking huge battle. King's Landing is going to be unrecognizable next season. It's going to be this, dude, it's just going to be a battle-torn fucking city.
Right.
Dragons flying around.
It's definitely going to be a good season.
Multiple different styles of fighting from one army.
Right.
Because Daenerys just has everyone. Not only that, but I'm not convinced that Jon Snow ain't going to join up with them. Who is Jon Snow's father? You know? If it's Rhaegar Targaryen like everybody thinks, he's Daenerys' nephew. Not only that, they could totally hook up and get married because in the Targaryen bloodline, incest is completely fine.
And that's why she
Not only
told
that-
what's his name before she left.
But he's a mutt, so it makes his blood even easier to mix with hers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not only that, but I don't remember, but
He's a bastard.
Isn't she kind of a bastard too? I don't know what a female bastard would be called,
A
but
bitch.
I think
no, that's
Ares
female dog.
Targaryen, she's like the product of an affair or something, or like she like, you know what I mean? I could be wrong,
I don't know.
but if that's the case, she's got muddy blood too, man. So they could, they would then be distant enough to kind of have a clean, a normal bloodline. I would think. I mean, I'm no
Yeah.
geneticist or biologist or anything, but right? Maybe
Yeah.
not. I don't know. Still,
I
they're,
don't
if they're both
fucking know.
Targaryens, that's not out of the question.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's stupid, but I see what you're saying.
it's fucking dumb.
That's fucking weird.
But
Sorry.
that's
We need to watch our language, Dad said. We cuss too much.
Sam has a Valyrian sword now.
That is true. He stole it.
Kinda.
No, he stole it.
He did.
It was his dad's. He stole it. But in his defense, his dad was kind of a dick.
His dad was a dick, but he's not. He's also supposedly the heir to that throne there.
Not anymore, because his dad's a dick.
Yeah. Which is weird because, like, I think he was secretly like wanting to fuck Gilly, because he was like, "You get out of here. She could stay. You get the fuck out of here, even though you can get the fuck out of here because she's here." You know what I mean? Like that seemed weird to me. Like she can stay, but I want you gone because you brought her here. She's a wildling, and I
Right.
don't want
And he
wildlings
don't like
around.
the wildlings, but he's going to let her stay.
Yeah, and tell his son to get the fuck out. Made no sense to me. That's why I'm like, he's a dirty old man.
What a dick.
He's gonna rape that little wildling girl. Or something. I don't know. He just seemed up to no good. That's why Sam was like, alright, we're stealing this sword, we're piecing the fuck out. But his mom
What was the
pretty
deal with
pissed.
that library? What?
Oh, he did
what
it
was
because her mother was so upset about it. And the grandchild.
What was the deal with that library?
What do you mean?
I
Why do they emphasize it so much?
yeah,
Because Sam loves fucking books. And
right.
He's never seen that many books in one place before.
But
Not only that, but if you notice that big sculpture thing was the thing you see at the end, or at the beginning of the credits, like that weird gyroscope thing
Yeah.
where the Game of Thrones, that was in there. So I don't know if that's like an Easter egg or a hint at something.
right, no, okay. What I'm getting at is what is that library? I guess that's a better way of
Oh.
saying it. I'm trying to figure out what is the deal with that library.
I think the town there is called Old Town. I think is what it's called, or Old's Town, or something like that. It has to do with it being old, and I don't know if they've elaborated, but it's like, it's probably like one of the oldest towns in Westeros. You know what I mean? It probably it's one of those things like this town is so ancient and old. It used to be the capital. You know what I mean? This used to, like one of those type deals. Like, it's a pretty prestigious town with a lot of lore and history. Is what I'm thinking. That's probably why there was a giant library.
Right.
Seems like it's been there for a while.
But what's the deal with the library?
What is it?
Like
there's books in there and
no,
people read
but
them.
what I mean is like in that scene, they kind of made, without making a huge deal about it, they kind of made a huge deal about it.
Because
and him
Sam
being in that library
has such a that's like though his whole deal. His dad gave him so much shit for not being a warrior and just wanted to read all the time. And then he goes here where reading and books are like held.
So is he just
so
going to become
high.
a librarian or what?
That's kind of what I think a Meister is kind of.
Like a librarian.
He's kind of like a historian. Like he takes care of the books. He keeps like he wanted to be a.
So what you're saying is
Like
there's really not a big deal going on.
No, for him it's a huge. It's what Sam is. It's like Sam just joined the club he's been looking for. Like he just found his best friends in the whole world. You know what I mean? Yeah, like you can't understand that. Like imagine
Okay, so
something you absolutely like. What is something you absolutely just live for other than sex? Like so, like you just can't get enough. Like you like guitars. You know what I mean? Or like let's say you went to the world's or like the Natural History Museum of guitars. You know what I mean? And you saw your favorite fucking artist just whole guitar
So what you're
collection or
saying
something.
is now Sam can pretty much die happy. His story's over. He's where he wants to be.
Well, it's basically like going and seeing something you thought you would never see, and it's like the most amazing thing you've ever saw.
Right. So he's where he wants to be. His story's pretty much over.
Yeah, and I mean, think about it, dude. That's in like even in our world in the medieval times, like you know how fucking books were technology. Like finding a book back then would be like us. They're like Blu-rays. Those shit's expensive. Like most people don't even know how to read.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't even have a Blu-ray player. Like that's not true, but I'm saying like that's what it would
Most
be
people
like.
don't have a riding lawnmower.
It'd be like, yeah, I guess. But yeah, that's what it is for Sam. It's like
So they're kind of wrapping up his story, which means that next season might be.
they're
the
kind
last
of
season.
wrapping everybody's story up.
They need to stop.
That's what they're doing.
No. No.
Turn into a little kid, man.
No.
All right, you hear it, people. Don't stop. Get it.
Coming like a wrecking ball.
But yeah, that's really important to Sam. That's like,
Well, good for him. I mean, I'm glad he's found what he's looking for.
yeah, that's like me going to a library that has every single possible movie ever made, and me just going like,
So Blockbuster.
no, Blockbuster definitely didn't have every
I'm
movie
just
ever
kidding.
made, especially now.
So Redbox.
You just don't understand, do you?
No.
Well, I guess that's the difference between me and Jay, ladies and gentlemen.
He likes movies. I like music.
No, he can't understand why a giant library would mean so much to Sam, and I can. That's the difference between me and Jared. If you watch Game of Thrones, you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. And I guess we will call that the end of episode number 20.
We gotta give a shout out
Shout out
to our pops.
to our papas, Papa Bear,
Yeah, I told him when I was on the phone with him.
big Philly style.
Yep. So shout out to Pop, as
to
my
Phil
daughter
Thomas.
calls him. Pop.
Papa,
Shout
Pappy.
out. Woo woo.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, Pop.
And hope you enjoyed episode number 20.